就想问一下专家，你们一定没想到现在全国能有90%的人，90%的车在家里不出来，同时也揭穿了所谓专家的谎言，说什么雾霾是汽车尾气甚至是炒菜造成的。现在请所谓专家解释一下，今天重度雾霾难道是专家放屁造成的？那就请专家没事儿不要放屁。
跳一跳探戈，跳一跳哈索，不如来跳迪斯科他花样。
大家好，我是古玉溪。这段时间，一些奇葩视频出现在网络，让我的三观碎了一地。一个女孩在接受记者采访时说，刚开始肯定是越想出院越好，住进来之后就不想走了，这里的各方面设施都蛮好。现在武汉肺炎疫情汹汹，隔离病房里面的人多不胜数，那么多病人挤在一个病房，面临着随时可能被死神带走的危险。很多病人呼吸困难，精神紧张和压抑，还有高昂的住院费让普通的家庭无法承受。所有生病的人肯定是越想尽早康复出院越好，我从来没有听说生病的人会不想出院。对于住院的人来说，无论生理、心理和财力都是一种煎熬，怎么可能还有人那么乐滋滋地说不想出院，还把医院当成度假村了呢？但我知道，每次在出现灾难之后，一定会有一个人出来这么说，这已经不是新鲜新闻了。当捡垃圾的都能把日子过成诗，当卖西红柿的都能在上海买3套房，当94岁煎饼老太说很享受现在卖煎饼的生活，当高速路收费上涨，车主感到欢喜时，也一定会有人得了冠状病毒之后说不想出院。因为在这里，所有的丧事都可以变成喜事，所有的不幸都是幸事，再痛的伤口也可以抹点胭脂变成好看的纹身，而不是想方设法去医治它。如此一来，有些人的脸上贴金了，头上有光了，但另一部分人的苦难被视而不见了，伤口被岩石捂住了，随之而来的是一片沉默，在沉默中被遗忘，在遗忘中死亡。
哪天啊？我刚发了，是的。那就走了嘛，脾气不了，发了已经。你在后头没有？这开我这开
啊，开了。
一个人下班喷气话，这个非常适合钓鱼，严重影响犯的错误，保证再也不会下次。
第二个，一个人下班中涛。
我们晒好多，我们要尾气，自己配合气，自己配合气。
你叫我气是可以的，
气，
具体情况我们发我问。
我是要气了，
我是交点费还是有责没得责？
没责，我们气得去，好吧？
那现在我不信，
不信的。
哎，要不要我把这个拿？哎，我这抢呀！我不信，
不气也要气。
我都不气过，哎，我还有这样。啊，人家的都是。
保安重播的，我们业主跟物业然后搞起来了，物业的保安
几个人打一个人，把我们业主打了，报案派出所来，把倒打的那个人拉起走了哈，倒打的拉起走了，我们都不等他警察调查，还没把打人的那几个保安一下带起走哈。警察下来就开始打人，打了2个人睡到起，哈。警察真的心肠好稳的哦，非常时期哦，当黑社会狗。看嘛好多人喽，这所有业主都不满了，不等他警察走啊。现在打了人，来了2波警察了，他还是不准走啊。确实心智太恶劣，拿起甩棍乱打伤了好多人喽。
天哪！
边走嘛。
下班你上哪个的事了？你偷什么房子？我们走。
叫么名字？
这停，让我下班。
这会儿这个走间，车子不能骑。这把我的工作不看到。叫我名字。
把他名字记来，把他名字记来。
下马。哎，我这个身份证，身份证，我要是
你不要怕，手机不要怕，搞这个着。
保安啊，写的5个人轻装在山东。
哟，你还没莫靠近了哦，还没带那个的。是哪个？
加大传播真相的力度。我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党新中国的以后什么样？
企业馆、方舱医院昨天晚上被大风把停止现在的动，所以一些工人和人员加班加点应该长休，你们辛苦了啊！
加大传播真相的力度。我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党新中国的以后什么样？
的阴霾，千万好儿郎站了出来，献出自己心中的那份爱。在这国难当头的年代，偏偏还有人放。
你对不对？你上来跑了，赢打了，我刚才赢打了，对呀。
干嘛子没？
对呀，
干嘛子？
对呀，起来，跪着，去吧，跪下，不听是吧？来按住，爬起来，这个手上给讲究个啥子？爬起来，手上来，这是喝的，爬起来，躺水上，咋听都不听。
靠到树上，跟靠到树上不管它。这个靠树上我说的。就搁这吃住，靠一下子，吃了饭。快叫！啥时候？让我戴口罩。我这出的问题，我这边出的问题。
出了什么问题？
不能戴口罩啊！
他真的叫，咋不带叫？他真的叫。
老北京胡同每一个胡同口马上镶这么一个框子，明天就上大门，完了这是就开始隔离，每一条胡同都上一层大门。
开跑！开跑啊！报警啊！快报警啊！快打呀！快打呀！快报警啊！把这些在他怎解决了？空门去了。
Good evening. The coronavirus crisis has spread to Bali with confirmation one Chinese holidaymaker has tested positive to the deadly disease. Two other people are being assessed in a Bali hospital. Jacqueline Robson is at Perth Airport. Jackie, some nervous holidaymakers are leaving for Bali tonight.
They certainly are nervous, Michael, despite assurances from authorities that Bali is still safe to visit. The federal government is offering assistance to Indonesia to help test people for the deadly coronavirus. Tens of thousands of Chinese tourists touch down in Indonesia every week, which has authorities puzzled as to how this could be Bali's first case. The Chinese tourist who tested positive flew into Denpasar Airport from Wuhan on a Lion Air flight on January 22. After a week, he flew out, bound for Shanghai, on a Garuda Indonesia flight on January 28, returning the positive test after landing back in China.
His incubation period of the disease would suggest that he could have picked that up either in China before he left, in Bali itself, or afterwards.
The US government will launch a mission to evacuate almost 400 citizens on board a cruise ship near Tokyo that's riddled with coronavirus. Our government is not ruling out its own rescue operation as concerns grow about the disease getting into Australia through our ports.
A direct warning at an Australian container port. Beware coronavirus. Workers on our wharves are concerned the disease could be getting into the country via cargo ships.
We can't be a weak link in the line of defence from this crisis.
The COSCO Thailand container vessel had spent a week going from port to port in mainland China before docking in Melbourne this week. When it arrived, dozens of Australian wharfies worked directly with the crew on board, with no idea if anyone was infected.
This virus could come through without any inspection, and that's not only about our own health and safety, but that's about the health and safety of the entire community.
Other cargo ships that have been to China are still arriving across the country too.
The health of Australians is the #1 priority.
With 2-week travel bans from mainland China and hundreds in quarantine camps, the government says it's confident it can prevent an outbreak here.
Australian Border Force are very conscious of that threat and they've put in place particular compliance activities and they're working with biosecurity officers.
Health experts are studying new cases of the coronavirus across Japan. They say the total number of infections in the country has climbed to 337. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government held a news conference at 6 p.m. Japan time and announced that 8 more people had been confirmed infected with the virus in Tokyo. 7 of them were found when the authorities were investigating the driver of a private taxi who was confirmed infected on Thursday. Meanwhile, in Wakayama Prefecture, Western Japan, authorities said on Saturday a second doctor, his wife and an inpatient at a hospital there had all tested positive. A doctor and another inpatient at the hospital were previously found to have the virus, making the surgeon the 5th case in Wakayama.
I feel anxious that infections have been detected in the hospital locals and their families all use. I always wear my mask and wash my hands after going home. I also have antivirus sheets like this.
Officials are now testing all of the doctors and staff at the hospital, as well as anyone who's had contact with the infected patients. In response to the spread of the virus, local governments in the area are cancelling events with large gatherings.
J'ai été informée hier soir du décès du patient de 80 ans qui était hospitalisé à l'hôpital Bichat depuis le 25 janvier dernier et qui était atteint donc d'une infection pulmonaire par le coronavirus. Il s'agit là du premier décès par le coronavirus en dehors de l'Asie, donc le premier décès en Europe.
You've been an observer of the Chinese Communist Party for a while. Dr. Thayer's been on here. He wrote 2 articles in the Hill newspaper calling this the biological Chernobyl of the Chinese Communist Party. And we understand from the miniseries and study of Chernobyl, it wasn't just the incompetence and the lies, but they often don't know what they don't know. What is your assessment now of how the Chinese Communist Party as a government has handled this situation, this Chernobyl in Wuhan?
So I think that's well said, Steve. I mean, they are corrupt, they are incompetent, they are dishonest, but they are also ignorant. It's very notable that Xi Jinping did not personally appear to make statements about this virus for several weeks. I think the only public appearance he made was with the WHO director in Beijing and then in Cambodia, in part because they probably don't know what was going on. He's starting to make more appearances now as the backlash has grown and grown and grown. But it's right to characterize it as a Chernobyl. But unfortunately, even on a broader scale, Chernobyl was a nuclear disaster that had serious but somewhat localized effects in Russia. This virus, as we've seen, has a possibility to go global.
You've said, and there's always time to put blame, etc. But you think because of how the virus hunters actually go about this, you have said as the president's offered the use of the CDC, as the WHO has offered their full virus hunters to go in, and now there looks like there may be a team getting ready to go or just has arrived. But you have said from the beginning, the burden of proof is on the Chinese Communist Party to open up to the world to go through details of what happened here. Why did you say that?
So, again, we know that China has a history of duplicity. We can see that from the SARS outbreak in 2003. But even in the last 3 weeks, we've seen it as well. What we've seen is they consistently are managing information about this. They are not opening up to Western scientists. So they are the burden of proof has to be on them to prove the origins of this and the epidemiology.
By the way, Senator Cotton, I love the fact that you've got small kids. You're not only a U.S. Senator, you're also a family man, so we appreciate it. I've been in that situation many times, so I appreciate you trying to do an interview and also handle the family. So the firewall, one of the things I've called for, you talk about the burden of proof, and they have not taken the CDC. They have not taken, they've not let our best guys go over there. Dr. Gabriel Leung from Hong Kong University has not been able to go in. Should we make it a point of policy now that they've got to take virus hunters from around the world and they've got to take down the firewall so you have free communication between the Chinese people and the West?
Steve, first off, so I've got a little guy running around behind me, so we'll try to keep him safe from coronavirus as well.
It's most important to keep him safe, so everything else is secondary.
Yeah, so it's important that when we say international scientists, we're not talking about Iranian scientists or Russian scientists. We're talking about American scientists who are the best in the world, and Japanese or Korean or European or what have you, and that they open up and provide us the information that is necessary to find effective diagnostic testing techniques and a vaccine. So, for instance, we know that this vaccine did not start at a food market in Wuhan. That is now been totally debunked by Chinese epidemiologists. Of the first 40 cases, 14 of them had no contact with that food market. So you might say the virus went into that market before it came out of that market. So one thing that the Chinese Communist Party needs to open up about is what the kind of research they were doing in the Wuhan super lab. It's only a few miles away from that food market. We know they were researching coronaviruses. Perhaps it was all good, productive science, trying to find diagnoses, trying to find vaccines. But the burden of proof is on the Chinese Communist Party because they have been so dishonest, because they mislead their own people, because they use techniques like their great internet firewall to try to clamp down on information. The way to combat an epidemic is not through secrecy. It's not through trying to dismiss the facts. It's through trying to get the facts as quickly as possible and being honest about what you don't know with the people.
所以说，亲爱的兄弟姐妹们，在这种情况下，亲爱的国内战友，你问我话的时候，外交部都已经往外跑了。姜、王、曾、杨、孟，人家没事儿，你没有事儿，啊，人家还要继续开合法的、延续的3月份的大会，啊，人家在北京还要推杯换盏，分享江山。所以说，你说现在中共自己内部斗争造出来的毒，中共现在自己也没解药，战争内部政治斗争没见结果，啊，现在谁鹿死谁手还未定，啊，你们只能是待宰的羔羊，啊，现在是发动者希望死多人，死到什么时候会结束？大家记住，嘎嘣结束的吧？啊，这都几天了，还没有结果啊！这位老领导把。接下来，我们将真正的进入按照上天的使命，听从上天的使命，为14亿中国人民拥有一个没有恐惧的、子女有未来的中国人所必须拥有的真正的法治中国和信仰自由的中国，让世界人民尊敬的中国人的未来而全力以赴。2020庚子年一定是第一个没有共产党中国人民的最新的、最早的第1年。2020年6月4号一定会是没有共产党新中国诞生的第1年，没人挡得住。这是来自于太阳、上天的力量。